Friends, good morning to all of you. This is our third session on data analysis. And then in the previous class, in the previous recording, we had already seen how to install PSPP, which is a clone version of SPSS. No different. I didn't find much difference between both of these softwares, but yeah, there are some bugs still because it's a free version. And then it's a very small package. So therefore, downloading and installing doesn't take much time and also your bandwidth. But SPSS is definitely a very big software because it runs into gigabytes of data that you need to download and then install. So it's very expensive also. Therefore, you cannot afford to avoid all piracies, issues relating to the piracies. You can always go for open source, and this is one nearest cloned SPSS version. There are many more which I have already shown you in the first session. And then let's go through this software once again. So I have already shown in the previous class this application would have two windows fixed together. One is called variable view, which is a default window always kept open, and then the next one is called the data view. In the variable view, you would always find the code book embedded, of course, and in the data view, it is a master sheet. Now, in the variable view, we had already seen how the names of the variables are mentioned and what are the labels of these variables. All these have to be manually typed out. Then not only that, the value labels for each variable are also instructed or mentioned in them. Then particularly the measurement, level of measurement. So for each variable, we have defined what is the level of measurement here. So then as we move to the data view, you would see the complete data. If in case if there is any error, you can subsequently check through. I would show you for the step one, how to identify the errors in the data. So what we can do is, before I start, I want you to pay attention to the menu bar. This is a very important menu bar, which is also called the main menu bar. Now in the menu bar, you have so many menus like File, Edit, View, Data, Transform, Analyze, Graphs, Utilities, Windows, and so on. But yeah, you're quite familiar with this because you would find this kind of menus in any of those Windows applications like MS Word, MS Office applications. Now in File menu, you would see creating a new file, opening an old file, importing data, saving, and so on. In the edit, you must be quite familiar with this cut, copy, paste commands. Then you can also clear some variables. You can clear some respondents. And then view is physical view of the screen. So you don't have to much worry about them. Don't touch that much. Data view, this is also a very important one. Supposing you want to split the file into two parts, you can try that. Or you want to select only few respondents, you can try this. And that's how you can give importance to only few respondents and ignore the other respondents. You can try this command. We don't use much frequently, but transform is the most important menu. Here you can compute index, you can create an index, you can count number of respondents, you can count number of variables, then you can rank some cases, you can recode. These are all important commands. For example, recode into same variable. This command is useful when you want to group age, actual age into grouped age. But if you try that into same variable, your original actual age will be gone forever. So let us not try this command anytime. So we'll try always recode into different variable, in which case your actual age can be retained in the same column and you can create the grouped age in another column. So we can always try this. Now the heart of SPSS is called analyze because this is the place where you will find all the repository of statistical tests available. Now for most of the advanced users, you could still find regression analysis, non-parametric statistics, reliability, factor analysis, discriminant analysis, bivariate correlation, univariate analysis, means difference tests, descriptive statistics. So these are all more than enough for any scholar, any research scholar. And particularly for a student like you, these are far, far from what you need. And then as we move to the graphs menu, you can see in the graph menu scatter plot, histogram, bar charts can be created. So what I would say, in PSPP, you are limited. You cannot have more than these graphs. Similarly, so in SPS also, SPS is not designed much for graphs. So if you want to have high resolution, very attractive variety of graphs, I would always advise you to use Excel sheet rather than any of these statistical packages, because the purpose of this package is for more statistics rather than graphs. Now, utilities, you don't have to worry about these things. These are all not much useful to you. If you want to find a reference manual for using this software, you can go to help, and PDF file is already there. So you can always open it for all instructions, for all commands. So now what we will do, let's start with the heart of SPSS or PSPP, called analyze. So first, as I told you, first step before initiating any data analysis is checking the errors for further cleaning. So we have sufficiently cleaned the data. In case if you still have any hidden errors which are not so visible in the menu or in the raw sheet or what you call master sheet, you can still try through analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies. So when you click, it would ask you for, this is what we call frequencies drop box, or drop box for frequencies. So we'll have so many dialog boxes like this. This is called dialog box actually. So in this dialog box, you would, on the left side, you would always find the list of variables. So you can select always like this. So, and then on the right side, you would find two boxes. One is called processing box, other one is called statistics. So I would take the processing box. I have to move the selected variables into processing box. So here are my variables moved into the processing box. And then here you can find various statistical tests available. So what I would do, I will confine myself only to mean and standard deviation, because I need only some of those. I don't need range, kurtosis, median, and so on. So, and that too, I need mean standard deviation only for continuous variables, continuous data, not for ordinal data or nominal data. However, since I have already included all the variables irrespective of their levels of measurement, I have chosen it. So, but I will omit them, I will ignore them at the time of interpretation. So I'm clicking OK. Now my output table, this is my output window. So there are always three windows I told you in the very first session on PSPP. The first window is called variable view window. The second one is data view window. And the third one is called output window. So output window is a loose window. It is not attached to the software. So every time you process and anything on the raw sheet, the output is created. So the file is always created like this. Now it is intact, it will always be there until you close it. So you can check through. The first table contains the mean standard deviation of all the variables mentioned included in the process box. However, I need to take only mean for age. You can see 38.48 with SD 9.3. Then number of children is 1.5. Monthly income is 4,37,976. This is not monthly, it should be annual. I need to do some correction here. Then experience is 7.7 years. Number of subordinates 5. Number of promotions 2. So that's it. So I can cut the table here until here, then remove this gender to marital status, then occupation and designation. I can retain that and keep it in my final chapters of the results. Now as we move, I have to further check through what are the problems in my data. So I'm going through age. This is what we call frequency distribution. We have frequency here for all the actual, this is called actual age, frequency distribution, and percentage. You can ignore valid percentage and cumulative percentage. There are some purposes for it, but whenever you need this, you can always utilize it. Otherwise, by default, you would be taking only the age, actual age, frequency, and percentage. You can delete these two columns subsequently in your final table. But this actual age also is not very important when you are presenting it in your thesis, in your project reports, because how do you interpret actual age? Very difficult, because the distribution is very huge, very vast. So you can see such a big table. So if you have to explain how many people are there in this age and this age. You have to keep on writing in 2 3 pages, and it is meaningless. So therefore what you could do, you can reclassify the age, actual age, into groups. You can take odd numbered groups, 3, 5, 7, and so on. So if you want to take 3 groups, what you could do, you divide this entire range into 3 groups. By taking their sum and divide by 3, you would get the class interval. That is one way of classifying. There are many other ways. You can also classify these age groups based on quartile values, and you could even classify them in based on median value. You could classify them even based on percentiles. That, of course, it's up to you. Conveniently, as per the needs of your study, you can classify them. I have done it based on quartiles, which I would show you at the end. Similarly, as I move, now you can see how my table for gender looks like. So 50% male, 49% female, graduates, PG, others, you can see that. So I'm not finding any problems here. Number of children, 1. 40% of them said they have only one child. 60% of them say they have 2 children. Now likewise, if I move on slowly, occupation, 50% are employed, 50% are self-employed. Designation, you can see that a little over one third is employees, nearly one third is supervisors, nearly another one third is officers. Now again, my monthly income is, there is a problem. It is not monthly income, it is annual income, because it is running into lakhs. So therefore I need to correct this label. So monthly income also I need to reclassify into grouped income, because with actual income it's very difficult to present such a big table in my report. Similarly, experience is in actuals, I need to reclassify them. Similarly, number of subordinates need to be reclassified, number of promotions also. Here I can make only 2 groups of promotions, because the distribution is, the values are very few. So 1 to 2 I can take one group, 3 to 4 as another group. Conveniently, here I am omitting that odd number grouping, because that is, the responses are very few. In case if the responses were more than 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I would have tried odd number 3 groups. That's it. So from here, this is what my conflict scale items are. So at work, I have things that should be done differently. That is the first item in my conflict, work conflict scale. So the responses are 50% strongly disagreed, 6% strongly agreed. So you can see more respondents are tilted towards disagree, strongly disagree. So what I'll do, I can even try cancelling this, go back again, analyze descriptive statistics, frequencies. Here what I'll do, I'll include some charts. So what kind of charts? Bar charts. So I'll select bar charts and then click OK. Then my output is ready. So now I would know how my bar charts would look like. You can see here, this is how my bar charts would look like. For example, if you are taking bar chart for monthly income, it would look like this, because of more distribution. But if you look for annual income, I mean experience, it is, you can see most of the respondents, that means 1/4 of the respondents are lean towards only 1 year of experience, number of subordinates, number of promotions. Now you can see for first conflict item, it is a skewed response distribution, because half of them strongly disagree with the respondent. So you can see the distribution is like this, skewed to one side. And when we go through the second item, at work I am not able to be myself. You can see it is a normally distributed data. However, there is an error I found. You can see here, these 2 respondents have given 0 answer. Actually, there is no 0 answer in the scale items. It starts with 1, ends with 5. So I need to correct. Wherever you find zeros, you have to convert them into ones, because that is the starting response. I think here it is okay, no problem. What you could see here is strongly disagree. Nobody had given disagree. Similarly, nobody had given strongly disagree response. So that's why you find 1, 2, 3, 4 responses only. Strongly disagree, agree, neutral, disagree. So this is how you would know how your data looks like. You can check through again, there is a 0 in another scale item. Likewise, as you keep moving slowly, you would find errors. So what you could do subsequently, you can clean up all these errors and then keep your data ready for all next level analysis. So checking through again, any values are errors. Here you can see another one. So slowly you can move like this and then check up if there are any errors again. So you can see in satisfaction scale also you have one response error. So all errors have to be eliminated. Then only you're ready for data analysis, final main statistical analysis. Here is one more. That's it. So I'll close it. Now what I would do, I will slowly move through my distribution like this. So I would know where are my zeros. I can pinpointedly identify those zeros. Here I don't find any zeros. So slowly I'll move down. So as I move like this, it will be very difficult to identify where is that zero value mentioned. So what is one of the best ways of identifying zero and replace that zero with one is go to transform command. So I'm demonstrating that now. Transform, recode into same variable this time. So let me select all my conflict items like this. Conflict to satisfaction also, because we found zero in some of the satisfaction items also. So I'll move all of them here. Then this is a dialog box for record. So record into same variable dialog box would look like this. You have on the left side list of variables. This right box is for processing, and then you find the instructions as to what to be done. So here I'll try my old value is 0, my new value should be 1. So click it here. So this is another sub dialog box. So the value is 0. Now my new value should be 1, and then add it for processing. So continue. That's it. So for all these list of variables, 0 is replaced with 1. So I'm closing it. I assume that my problem is solved. I'm saving my data. Okay. Yeah, I can still cross check once again because this we are still in the data cleaning stage. So go to frequencies, open it up, and then click OK to see your output. So my output would look like this. Let me check through my any errors are still pending or whether all the corrections have taken place or not. So we had noticed those errors were in scale items, particularly conflict and satisfaction. So I'm checking through. So I don't find any problem here that 0 is disappeared. So slowly I'm moving. Yeah, I don't find any zeros. Yeah, I'm not finding any zeros as of now. So hopefully all my errors are taken care of. I think it's done. Errors are all gone away. So I can move it forward little faster. I scroll down. So that's it. I don't have any problem. So that means my data is ready for next level analysis. So I'll close it. That's it. I'm saving my output data. That's it. I have done with it. So I'll take a pause here. In the next video, I'm going to demonstrate calculations, particularly how to calculate cross tabs. That's going to be an important, very interesting, because 95% of project reports would contain cross tabs. So therefore, if you are learning it here now, you would never regret subsequently in your life, particularly in your workplace. So we will start with crosstabs, then compare means. These are the two things that I'm going to show you in the next video. So until then, have a nice time, enjoy learning, practice them, because I would say that this lockdown is a wonderful opportunity, God's gift for all of you. So rigorously practice and get ready for data analytics career, and the foundations are laid today. So all the best again.